When you funnel the story through a human being, it's got a different quality than simply doing a mechanical recording of it. A lot of the things that are going on about me are channeled through my heart and my soul and my brain and my fingers. We are watching the human drama, and the courtroom is definitely a theater. When you're present in a room with a dramatic trial going on, there's a feeling in that moment. I like to convey just how it feels in that moment, in that room. The artist at one time was the media. Artists would depict wars on the scene, activities in the court of the king, and what have you. Even in the Civil War, a lot of the newspaper reporters could also draw. And then when photography came in, they allowed cameras in the court for a while, but they had to use these pans full of flash powder, and they created a huge disruption, boom, every time they took a photo, so the cameras were thrown out. I had noticed Howard Brody's sketches as a kid. When I was 10 years old, I was always quite impressed by them. He was the dean of courtroom artists. He had started out as a combat artist during World War II in the 60s and 70s. Howard Brody did endless famous trials of the times, like Charles Manson, Tate LaBianca, Watergate. Those were the glory days of courtroom art. Every major network had an artist or two under contract for that purpose, and that would be the only visual record of those trials. One of the highlights of my career was being assigned to sketch the Cullen Davis trial. He was the Texas version of O.J., and that made my career. From the Cullen Davis trial, WFAA in Dallas gave me a retainer so that they could have me exclusively, and I sketched hundreds of trials. I did a trial with Howard Brody, so I got to meet him. This was in the early 1980s, which was my pinnacle as far as making a living as a courtroom artist. And he was saying it was already over. The handwriting was on the wall because already various states were starting to allow cameras in their courts. I was really affected by the changes. Courtroom artists mostly work in federal courts because federal courts, including the Supreme Court, are one of the last domains that are not allowing cameras. Almost every court proceeding that I sketch nowadays is a quickie, whereas at one time I might cover a trial every single day that lasted for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. Now I'll get called to go sketch a 10-minute arraignment. Eventually I got so that I could do what I had to do to pay the bills. It's just like so many shopping centers in the country. Got lots of closed down businesses. I didn't realize that what happened to my field was going to happen to a lot of people in journalism with the cutbacks in budgets and the changes to the profession, but I was something of a canary in a coal mine. Illustration is storytelling. The difference between a camera in the courtroom and an artist might be the difference between just a cold, dry, factual transcript as opposed to a novel. I feel like the public is sitting in the seat in that courtroom with me, and I'm trying to draw, to communicate with those who aren't there what it was like to be there, and maybe some of that has been getting lost.